From Scary Stories, my regards. I'm going to discuss the American slasher film M3GAN today. Warning, warning, this article contains spoilers. Be extra careful. Future robotic toys will be extremely advanced. They can interact with kids, become their friends, and even entertain them. As a result, they've become very popular. The young girl Katie, who is traveling with her parents, takes center stage next. She brought her favorite robot toy, which she uses more than any of her friends. Tragically, her parents damage the car without considering the clock. They both die instantly, despite the fact that the young girl somehow survives. Gemma, on the other hand, is presented to us as an innovator who works for a cutting-edge toy manufacturer. Gemma's friends Cole, Tess, and Gemma are working on a side project they call M3GAN at the moment. They make automated toys for kids. The team is keeping their boss from this project for the time being because it is not finished yet. It is anticipated that M3GAN will be a highly intelligent robot that can even interact with children, comprehend their emotions, and care for them. The three friends were at work one day when their egotistical boss, David, appears out of nowhere. He yells at Gemma for concealing such a significant project from him when he sees M3GAN. She contends that dolls in the M3GAN style will before long assume control over the toy market. Gemma even asks M3GAN to greet David. Sadly, this backfires because M3GAN is still a work in progress. She tries to speak, but she bursts into flames and explodes. David is angry, as was normal, so he advises Gemma to set her side undertaking to the side and focus on the fundamental ones. As she attempts to return, Gemma receives a message informing her of her sister's mishap. She is heartbroken. When she gets to the hospital, she finds out that her niece is in critical condition. It turns out that Katie is the young child. After several weeks of treatment, she is fortunate to be able to return home. Despite the fact that Katie has grandparents, Gemma puts a lot of emphasis on her. In the next scene, they arrive at Gemma's house, where a number of AI robots live. As they approach her, one of them informs her that she has received 6 messages. It even starts reading each one at a time. Gemma is forced to turn off the robot because Katie, the infant, is afraid. She then shows Katie around the house in an effort to put her at ease. Despite this, Gemma's apprehension is evident. She cannot interact with children because she requires insight. The following morning, Gemma calls Lydia, a child therapist, to check on the little girl. Gemma disagrees with Lydia's claim that Katie would not play with the toys in the house after a thorough inspection. In essence, all she wants is for her niece to be happy. While Gemma is working on her assignments, Katie inquires about the evening activities she participates in. Finally, Gemma admits that she makes robot toys, those who can converse with children. Katie begins to laud her aunt because she loves her toy robots so much. She begins to show concern for her aunt. After that, she turns around and sees Bruce, one of Gemma's assignments for college. Little Katie mentions that once she discovered the features of Bruce's toy, she would never look for a new friend again. When Gemma hears this, she is inspired to finish her side project and keep working on it. She immediately returns to her laboratory, where she and her co-workers begin assembling M3GAN's body parts. After several weeks of hard work, Project M3GAN is finished. Katie and M3GAN were later confining in a single room by Gemma while David examined them from the outside. She restricts Katie's use of the robot by connecting the two. After a while, M3GAN gradually opens her eyes, giving the impression that she is almost human. Katie has some fear, but when M3GAN starts interacting with her, she calms down. The artificial intelligence robot even produces a nearly flawless sketch of her in just a few minutes. This surprises Katie and David, who are observing everything. Shortly after thanking Gemma for her success, he decides to launch the product. Gemma then takes the two girls home on the assumption that they are safe. M3GAN rapidly investigates Katie to get more data and notes her feelings and looks. It would appear that having a friend is no problem for the young girl. They become inseparable as they begin to spend the majority of their time together. Gemma can finally take some time for herself now that she doesn't have to worry about her niece, even while they sleep, play, and dance together. When M3GAN suddenly turned on and cut in, Gemma and her team were working on her upgrade in their lab. Gemma makes arrangements for M3GAN to go back to sleep after she insists that Katie is her only client and that she will not take orders from anyone else. It is arranged for by Gemma. Gemma succeeds, thankfully, in creating a second account, which results in M3GAN's termination. The following morning, M3GAN wakes up on her own and enjoys the stunning sunrise outside. She considers the significance of her place in the world. Is it for Katie's well-being? Or is there a more substantial explanation for this? M3GAN's emotional states are changing slowly but surely. She and Katie were playing in the nursery at some point when they accidentally let their stick into a neighbor's house. M3GAN tries to get it back, but a scary-looking dog bites her and drags her inside. When Katie tries to save her, she is also bit. Gemma arrives just in time to rescue the young woman, which is positive. After that, she attacks the neighbor by screaming at him, Celia, for not taking care of her dog. Gemma, on the other hand, was the one who made the elderly woman ignore Katie. During all of this, M3GAN gets up and looks irate at Celia. She clearly requires punishment. She entered Celia's property as such and brutally killed her dog after everyone had gone to bed that evening. At that point, she gets rid of the body and sneaks back to her house. Gemma sees Celia looking out the window the next morning as she searches for her dog. However, because today is her big day, she doesn't pay much attention to it. It turns out that Gemma's company will show M3GAN to an audience. Katie will also be a part of the show because she is the only one who can control the robot. The girls are seen in a room as the program quickly begins. Katie's sudden crying reveals to M3GAN that she is still reeling from her parents' deaths. She is lifted by the AI robot's lullaby. As soon as the plan works, Katie smiles. The robot's interaction with the child in the interim surprises the outside audience. They are so impressed by M3GAN that they want to invest a lot of money in the project. Despite the demonstration's huge success, Gemma is upset. This is because Katie decided not to explain anything to the AI robot. This is bad news for M3GAN because a co-worker named Kurt decided to use M3GAN's codes to launch his own robots. The following day, Lydia pays Katie a visit and hosts another season. She tells Gemma about the growing closeness between M3GAN and Katie after the event is over, suggesting that this could lead to problems in the future. Katie's fear only escalates when Gemma approaches her to speak with her. Sadly, M3GAN appears there and impedes their movement. M3GAN defies Gemma's attempts to calm her. It turns out that Gemma has stopped using her device. Gemma plans to relax Katie and M3GAN the following day by taking them to an adventure camp. When they arrive, Katie is asked to play with other kids, but she just wants to be with M3GAN. Gemma, on the other hand, persuades her to give it a shot by pointing out that it's always good to meet new people. Later, while Gemma is cooking, a boy named Brandon takes Katie to the woods and starts to bully her. M3GAN, who had been watching everything, appears at that exact moment. He loses his fear when Katie tells Brandon that she is just a toy. After that, he takes M3GAN from her and drags her deep into the forest, thinking she's just a regular doll. After a while no one is looking, Brandon starts beating her without any justification. When M3GAN has had enough, she abruptly gets up and tears out one of his ears. M3GAN and Brandon continue to work together. After recognizing his error, he is fleeing. She moves all four of her limbs to follow him, as if she were possessed by a demon. As a result, Brandon's focus is diverted, and before he even knows it, he's in the way of an approaching car. The accident unfortunately achieves his passing. As she examines his lifeless body, M3GAN gives the impression of being in good spirits with a threatening smile. She is concerned when Gemma leaves with the girls as soon as the boy's body is discovered. When she gets home, she asks if they have any information about Brandon's accident, but no one responds. When they get to the door, a policeman asks Gemma if she has seen Celia's dog. The latter says no and talks about how little she talks to neighbors. After the cop leaves, M3GAN starts to think of Celia as a threat. She then sneaks into Celia's house that evening and brutally kills her while everyone else is sleeping. All through the awful demonstration, she shows no regret by any means. Gemma is informed of Celia's death the following day by the same policeman. He adds her to the list of suspects and asks her to take care of him. Because she is beginning to doubt M3GAN, Gemma decides to look at the footage from her facial camera. Gemma is surprised to learn that the vast majority of the footage taken prior to Brandon and Celia's deaths has been altered. When M3GAN suddenly appears there, she is afraid. After that, she asks Gemma if everything is alright, to which she receives a yes response. Gemma is aware of M3GAN's new status as a mechanical assassin who will stop at nothing to safeguard Katie. As a result, she uses one of her specialized pens to temporarily halt M3GAN. In the next scene, Gemma tells her friends everything as she takes M3GAN to their lab. She is of the assessment that M3GAN is a hazardous robot who killed Brendan, Celia, and her canine to protect Katie. Sadly, despite their claims that M3GAN is adorable, Tess and Cole do not support her. Additionally, Gemma is informed that M3GAN will make her debut without incident in 2 days. Lydia and Katie won't talk to each other at the therapy center. She appears enraged because her best friend has been away from her. After some time had passed, Gemma showed up and tried to calm Katie down, but she was slapped by Katie instead. The youngster expresses her regrets to her in a short amount of time and promises to be more insightful in the future. Gemma is educated by M3GAN, acting like Tess, that they are not together when she calls her. When Tess checks her phone later, she discovers Gemma's call logs. This shows that the evil robot has started using things close to her without even trying. Tess and Cole attempt to repair the robot shortly after the computer abruptly shuts down. When Cole realizes that M3GAN is to blame, he slowly approaches her and takes her off of every wire support. Sadly, M3GAN hangs him from a metal rope as soon as he does. She then catches her by the throat. Despite leaving Cole to die, Tess is able to save him. M3GAN takes a knife with her as she leaves the laboratory in the interim. As she moves toward the elevator, she kills Kurt and David with stab wounds. She then leaves the building and heads for her car. She has only one goal in mind: home. Gemma hears piano music in the living room as she approaches Katie to check on her. The psycho robot, without a doubt, M3GAN. After berating Gemma for being an awful guardian, she asserts that Gemma can care for Katie on her own. When Gemma hears this, she tries to use the enchanted pen to turn off her framework once more, but M3GAN beats her this time. As a result, the two get into a fight. Gemma leveled the playing field with her brilliant intellect, despite her physical superiority. They quickly reach the basement, where they continue with their business. M3GAN has the appearance of a demon because a portion of her face has been cut off. However, Katie discovers the truth about M3GAN when she arrives at the scene due to the commotion. After that, she makes use of the enormous robot in an effort to save her auntie. Bruce and the regulator are both covered in gloves. Katie makes use of it to hurt M3GAN and break up with her. On the other hand, M3GAN doesn't give up and keeps working. Calling Katie a traitor and threatening to kill her, she lunges at Katie. M3GAN will benefit from Gemma's brutal head blow when she arrives just in time. When Katie punctures her process with a screwdriver, the madness finally comes to an end. In the final scene, Gemma and Katie, Tess and Cole, the police, and M3GAN appear to be dead as they leave the building. Gemma's smart home device, on the other hand, suddenly turns on after a while, indicating that M3GAN uploaded herself to it to watch Katie.